Thank you for watching Hack the File. I'm Michael Lopez, and on today's episode, we're going to be doing the first set of my videos for my master's degree project. It's pretty interesting, and I'll explain. So enjoy. All right, so we're back. It's been a minute, but I've been really busy. So I'm trying to figure out how to incorporate things that I already have to do with my video, and I thought this would be a great video to show students or people wanting to learn how to do something practically, right? So in our field, we're constantly learning, we're constantly doing research, but in most cases, cybersecurity is um, uh, theoretical, right? You're gonna go get these certs, and let's say you're gonna go get your CompTIA. You're gonna study all the theoretical information, and then you're gonna go take this test, and it has very little practical engagement in it. I mean, it's got some drag and drop probably, and and stuff like that, but it doesn't have any real practical like configurations and stuff like that. So, um, I've decided to show you guys on my channel how I do research, and then how I, get instructions and try to physically walk through um, doing what it is I set out to do. So, in my master's class, I'm going to be um, um, let me see. Yeah. Let me see if this is the one here. Probably not that one. Um, let me see if I can find the right document. So I've got a lot of different documents on here that I've been doing research, and I'm trying to. All right, so in a nutshell, what I plan on doing is setting up a virtual network, and in my videos, we're usually using these. Okay, so we're using Oracle VM Virtual Manager, and then if you don't know what that is, I've got some videos to show you how I got this for free. This is a virtual machine. Anyways, these are virtual machines. This is the God, I can't even think of it right now. But anyways, it holds all the virtual machines. So, what I want to do for my applied research project, okay, is I'm going to take my pfSense firewall VM, my Metasploitable VM, my Kali Linux box. I think this one actually, my Ubuntu VM, and that's it. And what I want to do is I want to first of all I want to configure the pfSense, right, with different VLANs, right, VLANs and VLANs. So if you don't know what that is, Google it and stuff. Get to know the networking side of cybersecurity. And I want to set these up, and I want to set these things up, okay, on different VLNs to this firewall. Now, as I set these up, that's what we're going to work on today. We're going to work on the first step is setting up my firewall and my different VLANs, and setting up my network. Once I set this up, I want to show how I can scan for vulnerabilities, do some reconnaissance from my attacker machine, which is my Kali Linux box. And I want, and all this stuff's going to be entry level. It's not going to be, because I only have 20 minutes to do a presentation, so I can't make it super hard, right? It doesn't make any sense. But setting up the configuration of the firewall, understanding how the network works and how I can traverse the network, and scan what tools I can use to scan for vulnerabilities and stuff like that. I think is the most practical way to understand how pen testers or a hacker would probably go about doing this. Now this is just for demonstration purposes, right? So also you hopefully you'll learn how to set up your own environment and where you can practice on. Now you can make this harder exponentially. So Metasploitable has a website where you can go on there and you can make it very hard to hack, and you can practice like that. So this is my solution, right? And I'm not done. So I'm gonna take that's gonna be the first phase. Second phase is once we're in, okay, I'm going to find, take a scan of the network and all that stuff to different tools, and then I'm gonna find some data that I'm gonna plant there, and we're gonna do some fun stuff with that. I don't know yet. And then I'm gonna steal it. I'm gonna steal the data. And then the last thing is I'm gonna clean up my tracks. So hopefully nobody knows I was there. Okay? And I'm gonna try to get all this done by myself, step by step, setting up everything, making it easy to hack or whatever, and then going through. But the most, and hopefully we can get it to work, and then that's what I'm going to try to submit as an applied research project. Now the twist of this is that I'm making it practical to my style, right? So my style is the shadow initiation sequence protocol, and I can go through a lot about what my philosophy is on it, but it basically boils down to breaking down penetration testing or hacking or whatever into belt systems like martial arts, but not belt systems per se, but the philosophy is you learn your basic techniques in martial arts in white belt, and which is in this case the foundation phase is recon and discovery, right? That's going to be our first basic stuff. So we need to know how to do recon, we need to know how to do scans, discovery scans, network scans and stuff like that, right? Vulnerability scans, and then the ascent phase is the yellow belt techniques, so then it starts getting from white belt to yellow belt to green belt, purple belt, red belt, black belt, and it starts at basic, intermediate, and advanced, and then master, right? And so my philosophy is I break it down to those phases. So if you teach somebody how to pen test like that, I think that it's easier because they understand the different levels, right? First off, they understand, these are recon. This is the first stuff I'm going to learn, right? White belt, basic stuff. Now the sequence part means that you can revert back to any sequence. So you can be doing black intermediate level stuffs like pivoting into the second VLN, and traversing your network that you've already penetrated, and that would be like intermediate techniques, right? Lateral movement. But then you can revert back to your basic techniques, and if you need to do another scan or something, right, and then be undetected. Now this is not going deep into how to scan and be undetected, like the tools, right? Like we're gonna be doing some some stealth scanning with an Nmap or something. It's not going into deep stuff, okay? This is simply going over the techniques, and basically of a system that, in this case, we're gonna build the system ourselves. Nobody's watching the system, okay? All right, so it's gonna be just the steps, the techniques, okay? It's practice. And but in the real world, obviously, you're gonna have people watching the network. You're gonna have all kinds of endpoint devices and stuff scanning and looking for anomalies and stuff, and that's different. But those are other tools and other techniques like stealth scanning and stuff that people actually use out in the field. People actually use that's for a later time, right? That's after you've practiced and practiced and practiced for a while. Now you're like, all right, now let's up the ante. And then, but this gives you the basic idea, and it gives you the basic way to set up your little center here, so you can actually start doing hacking, and you can build on it. Now, why is this important? This is important if you can pull it off. If we can pull it off, because there's no other way to do this, right? You're either a criminal and you get your experience that way, but even those criminals have to be playing around in systems and learn and everything too, right? You're gonna have to learn and play around in systems anyways. So you're learning and playing around. Okay. You could do the OSCP certification in pen testing or hacking, which is great, but you're gonna do a lot of pen testing and all that stuff. Now, do you know how to set up your VLNs and your firewalls and all that? Probably not, but you know how to traverse them, and over time you learn how they work and your networks work and all that, right? You know how to cover your tracks and stuff, because you're doing hack the box, you're doing try hack me, you're doing all these free sites or paid sites for a year and going through that and just hustling the hard way, and then you're going to go take your OSCP test that's similar to that, right? Okay, so that you could go that way too, right? But either way, you're going to have to play around and actually use the tools and commands. There's no other way around it, right? And so I think that when people are doing it the hard knock way, where they explain, okay, now this is what we do, this is how you do this, and they're learning all that information, but they're not organizing it, right? They're not saying, okay, so this is basic entry stuff, this is intermediate stuff, this is advanced techniques, this, there's no system, belt system, right? There's no, and I think the martial arts provides a great structure on how to learn something very complicated and sort it into basic, intermediate, advanced, and master. So that's just my philosophy. So that being said, and then I'm going to show you. You guys are going to learn how I am putting all my knowledge together in my books. ChatGPT, Copilot, every other resource I can. So. All right, so that's a skinny, and then I'll explain it more as we go through, okay? But let's get started with this. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I need to get this firewall configured. It's my first step, because I have to have my network set up first before I start adding these, or actually I need to start adding these to my network, and then that way I can start playing around with them, right? So I'm going to pull up, so I got this from ChatGPT, right? But I inputted a lot of information, inputted what my plans were, and ChatGPT will just spit out a whole bunch of stuff for you, right? But the secret to ChatGPT is not giving it, let them spit out all that stuff. But then you sort through it and you go, okay, so this is what I want to focus on. And then you tell it, I want to just focus on this. Give me a step-by-step or whatever, right? Or give me some references I can look up to do it. So ShadowNet is what I called my project. And phase 1, pfSense, and 2 VLN builds. Kali Linux, Ubuntu, and Metasploitable. So I'm making it easier for myself, because I already downloaded. I already have Kali Linux, I already have an Ubuntu, and I already have a Metasploitable. And I'm going to turn this one into a server. Now we're going to simulate an OT environment, okay? And so I'm going to use this Ubuntu as like a PLC server or whatnot, right? And I don't know what I'm going to do, if I'm going to shut down some systems, or if I'm going to just exfiltrate some data. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. This Metasploitable is going to serve as another server, I think. I don't know. So let's read the overview, what ChatGPT gave me, and then I'll see if I care or not, right? But ShadowNet phase 1 will be built using pfSense as the core router firewall. Okay, I agree with that. That's what I want to do. With 2 isolated VLNs/subnets. Okay, the setup will use Kali Linux, the attacker, and that's what I want to do, and Ubuntu, the target. in VLN 10. So we're setting this Ubuntu up. We're gonna have to configure that next in a couple videos later on into VLN 10. Okay, and Metasploitable 2, vulnerable target. So this is gonna, I guess it's gonna be a target. I mean, which is fine. I just want to do something with them, right? In VLN 20, I'm gonna set this up in VLN 20. VLN 10 and VLN 20 will be isolated with pfSense firewall rules. So it's isolated, okay? Initially blocking inter VLN traffic. Okay, well, that's normal. The goal is to discover both VLNs, exploit Metasploitable via pivot from VLN 10. So Metasploitable is in Metasploitable 2, is going to be in VLN 20. So I want to take advantage of VLN 10, which is my Ubuntu. So I'm going to get in through my Ubuntu target, and then I'm going to discover somehow, I don't know yet, I want to discover the other VLNs, and then I want to be able to pivot from one VLN to the Metasploitable VLN from that one, right? The goal is to discover both VLNs, exploit Metasploitable via pivot from VLN 10, and follow the CISP methodology. Now the CISP in this case is my own style, the sequence initiation. The shadow initiation sequence protocol. Okay. Now the setup plan is to create a VirtualBox host-only network for pfSense management. We can call it whatever we want, but we're going to call it that. Might as well, right? Create internal network VLN 10 net for Kali and Ubuntu. So we're going to do that today, probably. Create internal network VLN 20 for. We're going to probably get through these two today, hopefully. Okay. Configure pfSense adapter 1. This too, we're going to do this to management net. We're going to do that today. And then adapter 2 to VLN 10, adapter 3 to VLN 20 net, and we're going to probably do that too. Assign VLN 10, and we're going to give it an IP address. And then VLN 20, we're going to give it an IP address. Might not be that one, but I mean, why not? Enable DHCP on both VLNs. We're going to go through that, maybe discuss that. Configure firewall rules to block VLN to VLN traffic. So this is where it's really cool, because we're going to configure firewall rules, and we're not just going to leave it completely open. And we're going to block VLN to VLN traffic. So it's going to be harder for us to pivot, right? From VLN 10 to 20. I'm assuming. So that's going to be a little hurdle. That's going to be interesting to figure out how to do that when that's your basic firewall settings. Okay. Test isolation and network discovery. Nmap for Kali Linux. We're going to use Nmap and we're probably going to use another tool. Okay. Purpose to demonstrate network segmentation, reconnaissance, exploitation, pivoting, and CISP malign reporting in a controlled lab environment. Now this is only phase 1. So we're going to work on this phase 1, right? Let me see. And we're going to start setting all this up. If I can do, here's the CISP breakdown. If I could do this one. ShadowNet phase 1, pfSense adapter setup, VirtualBox, pfSense console. Okay, so we're going to follow these steps first, okay? So let's do that. So it says shut down the pfSense if it's running. So let's go here. It is not running, it's powered off, so we're good, okay? In VirtualBox Manager, right-click pfSense VM, settings and network. So we'll go pfSense, settings, and network. And we're going to change all this. Okay, and we'll change it back if we have to for some other videos, but I'm going to be working on this primarily for a minute. Okay, adapter 1 management.net is what we want to call it, right? So I'm just going to copy this. Okay. And I don't need that open. Adapter 1, enable attached to host only adapter. Let's look at that. Okay, so attached to host only adapter. Nice. See, so far it's giving me right direction. It's got the right um man, it just escapes me right now. The right VM. I'm just gonna call it the VM holder. I can't think right now. You guys know what it's called. Anyways, this so it's giving me the right instructions for VirtualBox Manager. Um, name VBox Net Zero or your host only network. So we want I think that's what it is. Okay, so it's already on there. VirtualBox host only Ethernet adapter. I hope this ain't physical. VBox Zero or your host only network. That's fine. This is for management only, pfSense web GUI. So I'm gonna have to set that up too, but I'm gonna come across that here in a second. All right. Adapter 2. So let's go to adapter 2. Adapter 2 VLN 10 net. So we're going to say hold on. Adapter 1. Okay, adapter 2. We're gonna have to name it that or what? Attached to enable network adapter attached to internal network. That's it. Name VLN10.net. We're gonna name it VLAN 10 on .net. I need anything advanced on it? Not yet. This okay. To adapter 3. Adapter 3, we'll enable network adapter, internal network, and then we're going to call it VLAN dash, no, VLN 20 dash net. Okay. Okay. Set adapter types for all adapters. Adapter type. What is this? Advanced? Adapter type. All adapters? Okay, then set adapter type for all adapters. Intel Pro. Intel Pro 1000 MT server. That works. Optional. Promiscuous mode allows all for easier lab monitoring. Promiscuous mode. Allow all. For this VLN or all of them? Alright, that looks okay. Alright, let's move on to the next thing. Okay, I think I did that right. So let's go on the next one. Okay, so part B, pfSense console configuration. So we're gonna boot this. I'm gonna press OK. I pressed OK. Now we're gonna start this up. Our pfSense firewall. I'm gonna let this sucker boot. Now, if you don't know how to even get these VMs or whatever, I've got a video on my on my ethical hacking series that runs through these. Fairly simple to set up. Just remember, you're gonna have to troubleshoot through it just a little bit because I was setting this up on my laptop and I didn't realize I had a lot of other issues. And now I set it up on my desktop and it was way easier because that's the way things work with laptops. A little bit different than desktops. So, or I just did something wrong the first time. But I mean, it'll get you through to get it installed. You're just gonna have to figure it out. I got it. While this is loaded, I'm gonna get my pills ready. This should be a fun series if you want to follow along. This one should be easy because I'm not using a book or anything. Now I'm just using ChatGPT's guidance, but I've done all this before, right? That's why it's so easy for me to understand ChatGPT's instructions because I've done this before a bunch of times. So I don't, we're gonna be troubleshooting it, but hopefully not that much, right? Just the stuff that I haven't done before. Man, I got 16 different pills I gotta take. Don't get old. This is what happens. Okay, so now this is booted up. Okay, and I have an LAN. I have my everything looks like it's running good. Let's go ahead and continue to the next step. So now it's booted up. So it's boot step 9. Boot pfSense VM to access the console menu. Okay. Choose option 1. So we're gonna put assign interface. So I'm gonna go 1. Okay. And it says valid interfaces. Okay, so it's giving me some valid interface. EM0, EM2. 1 second. Check these pills. Alright, it says when asked, do you want to set up the VLNs now? Type N. Type no. So it says assign, when asked, do you want to set up the VLNs now? Type no. Okay, and then I like to read what happens. So it says, do VLNs need to be set up first? If VLNs will not be used, or if only optional interfaces is for typical to say no here to use the web configurator to configure VLNs later. So that's what we're doing. If required, should VLNs set up now? Yes or no? Is the names of the interfaces are not known? Auto detecting can use instead. Yada yada yada. Okay, enter the WAN name or A for auto detection, EM1, EM0, or A. Okay, so we want to do LAN, and we're going to do cap sensitive, right? And we're going to do it just like it says to do. This might not know how to do it. I've never done this, so I mean on the pfSense, so let's see if that works. I might just go LAN. Let's see, LAN. EM0, EMG, MTT. Enter interface or A for auto. Oh, let's just do that. Connect now to make sure that the link is up the presenter. What was that WAN interface? Oh. See, now I'm just messing with stuff. I don't know. It says enter in the WAN interface. I forgot the dash, maybe. Dash. See, this is, I've never done this on here, so. MGMT, MT. Just gonna have to brute force this and figure it out, right? I don't know. Alright, so I figured it out. I got some better instructions from ChatGPT. So what I did was I took this, I just copied this, right? Part B. I copied this because obviously we're having some kind of issue here where it's not clearly. And sometimes it does that, like ChatGPT or instructions will, and anywhere, even books, will give you something like that and have you brute force it. But you know, I'm pressed on a little time, so I just popped that in there and I put in this step, and then I just put the step in there and I pressed return because I did it by accident, and it popped out some, you know, basic instructions like, yep, those are what you want to do. Boot it, explain something real quick, goes through here, and then it says the exam prompts will slightly be different, but here's the flow. This is the common one, and this is what it was. So it says enter LAN interface name. So the LAN interface name was EM0, EM1, and EM2, and I did that, and then this popped out. So let's keep going. And so this is where I'm at now. So I typed in EM0, pressed enter, EM1, press enter, EM2, press enter, and this is what it did. It says the interfaces will be assigned to as follows: EM0, EM1, EM2. Do you want to proceed? Does it say it wants me to? Let's see. It says yes, so I'm going to put yes. I'm going to type yes. You got to press the right control button. Once you go into these pfSenses, the right control button, remember, gets you out of it, or else you'll be stuck in here. Let me finish my pills. Okay, set it up. So WAN EM1 to 1012. So that works. Alright. That says here's the older flow. And you used to have to do the management.net. I don't know what that is, but flow B, enter WN, auto detection. I guess it could have did that too. Let's try this one. Enter the WN, because yeah, now these don't have no names. I want the names to show, right? I guess it doesn't matter. All right, let's keep going. What do you do next? So the ISP DCH master plan. So let's jump back and forth, right? Let's go back to the other, these ones, right? So now confirm assignments and press Y to save. Did I do that? So this one has you set it. Set it like this. I bet you I can set it like that too. That's fine. Assign IP addresses. From the pfSense control menu, choose option 2, set the interfaces IP addresses. So let's set up that IP address. So let's go back to our other instructions. I think it's just ChatGPT. Option 2, set interfaces. So, oh shoot. Numlock 2. Alright. So enter the number of the interfaces you wish to configure. I'm going to press the right control button, get out of this. Okay. Confirm assignments with the Y to save. Okay. What do you want to do next? So the ICP master plan, set the LAN manager IP address. Press 2, pick the LAN IP address for, let me pick the LAN. 2? Yep, I want to configure the LAN. Okay, configure IP address LAN via yes. So we're Say yes. Right? Configure IP6? No. I don't want to do IP6. Enter the new LAN IP6 address. Do you want to revert to the HTTP as the web? Alright, hold up. Let's get out of this. Let's go back and see what this guy says. This is doing the same thing. This is just setting those IP addresses. Okay, so do you want to revert to HTTP as a web configure protocol? I'll just say yes. What did I do? Please wait while the changes are saved to LAN. Loading filter, router. Oh, I want to do that one. Yeah, that's fine. We'll do 2 again. 2. Did I skip some shit? What to do next? So the ISP/DHCP matchup plan. I don't know what it says on our plan, does it? Oh, set the LAN management IP from the console. Pick LAN. Oh, there you go. I don't know. Guess we gotta wait for a second. So that's thinking for a second. Let's go back to the other. Let's close this up. Alright, it says from the pfSense console menu to interfaces IP address. Does not say, so let's click here like this, right? I'm gonna copy this. I'm gonna do the same thing because I don't think these are clear. All right, let's see what it says it did. Please wait while the changes are saved. Reloading filter, blah blah. Okay, now press enter. Alright, so I figured it out. I went on a tremendous research rabbit hole. So let's start, and then I'm going to tell you guys what I did. I'm going to show you what I did. So I'm going to save you a lot of time. So, okay, so we're following those instructions, right? And it says to type in your that IP address up here to access it through the web GUI, and it wasn't working. Remember, it was just spinning and spinning. So then I kind of looked at these pfSense VirtualBox NICs, right, or the VLNs, whatever's. So started looking at those. Let me see if I can show this. And now I have it set up right. So the WAN, of course, is your wide area network, or your wide area network. You don't want to set that in your adapters because we don't want to set that for now because we don't need internet access or anything, right? So our local area network EM1 needs to be set so I can get to it, and that's what I'm connecting to when I connect here. Okay. The problem is that if your PC or your main host, right, which is your PC, not this virtual environment, if it's not on the same network, then it can't talk to it, right? So but you gotta set, so this tells you to set EM0 up as host only, but in the pfSense it won't let me. It would not let me set my WAN to 0 or to nothing, right? It wouldn't let me do this. It wanted something to put in there. So and these are the adapters on my pfSense firewall, right? So what I had to do is I had to go in here to settings, network, and adapter 1 I had to put is not attached, right? Because since my pfSense configuration was not allowing me to put this as none, I had to just disattach it. So I had to move everything over. So I had to not attach instead of because I had it as the host only, right? So I had to put it as not attached, and then all the rest of this stuff, I left alone. But I had to not attach adapter 1. So then it sees the WAN 0. It says it's not attached, so it doesn't assign it nothing, right? Because I don't want to use my WAN right now because I'm going to be showing this video to you guys. I'm going to be showing this video when I turn in my project, and they don't need to. I'm not going to use my internet, right? So, that's my ISP, and it's usually your public address. I mean, it's not good, right? So it doesn't really matter. I'm not going to use it. So then, I had to switch over my host adapter. So adapter 2, I had to make my host only adapter. Now this is the adapter that your PC sees and communicates with, right? Host only adapter, and then the name or whatever, and then connected cables. You have to make sure all that's right. Then your adapter 3 is my VLN 20, which is fine. It doesn't matter which way. It could be 10, 20, because I'm gonna add an adapter 4, but I can't do it here for some reason, right? But that one's gonna be, so this is EM0, EM1, EM0, EM1, and the optional, right? Option 1, and this will probably be option 2, but I can't click on that one yet, right? So I just had to move everything over from originally how we had it, because it was trying to connect to my WAN as EM0, and I couldn't reach that. I mean, I don't want to do that anyways, right? But I couldn't reach it. So my LAN is what I'm trying to connect to. Then from there, I had to set up the virtual box itself. So I come here and I went to File, and I'm looking for Tools, Network Manager. I'm looking for the Network Manager, right? So I had to come here and Host Only Network. We want to look at the Host Only Network, and you want it's here at create or remove. So you want to go to properties, and you want to disable your DHCP because it only confuses. This is an automatic setting, right? We want to take that off. We want to do everything manual. I mean, that's the best way I can explain it. Then you want to go to configure, and then I want to add my IP address here in the box itself, right? Now this is the same IP range as that up there, right? But it's 2 instead of 1 is going to be, and then IP4 network mask, same thing. Then I want to apply, right? Then I want to come and I want to make sure that my computer, right? So I'm going to press, the Windows sign plus R. That's going to bring up my, oh, wait a minute. You don't want to do that. Let me get out of that. So I'm going to press my Windows sign plus R. That's going to bring up my, what is this, PowerShell? Or just, it's going to bring up a config menu, or you could just open up your command prompt, right? So it opens up your command prompt. Then I can put IP config, and then you want to make sure that whatever, like says mine is Ethernet adapter 4, okay? You want to make sure this IP address, and your gateway can be blank, it doesn't matter. But you want to make sure your IP address, the 192 or whatever that you put here, matches with what you put in your virtual box and your adapters, right? The adapter that you want to be for your PC to see. Then once they're on, once it's on the same network, those IP addresses are matched up. Then you can see you can type in that IP address up there, right? Which is HTTP 192.168. What was it? 99.1. Okay, and it's here, right? So that's it, the PFSys dashboard, and it'll log you in now. So it doesn't log you in, so it asks you to enter in your admin, your username and password. And for PFSense, your default username and password is admin and then PFSense. And then it tells you to change your password, which I did. I changed my password. So now I can log in, and I can log into my firewall now through the GUI instead of off command line, right? And I'm sure you can do a command line too, but now I'm into the GUI of my PFSense virtual machine. So now that's where I'm going to stop, because that took a long time. I don't want to make this video too long, but we've done a tremendous amount of cool things with this video. And so let's do a recap of the first thing we learned, right? So we're learning how to use ChatGPT in a responsible way. That's the first thing, right? We're not asking ChatGPT, hey, do this for me. Even if it did, none of this instructions is completely clear. You're gonna have to do a tremendous amount of small researches with ChatGPT to try to troubleshoot through itself, right? Which is fine. That's exactly what I did. So, and then I had to ask it certain questions, and then I had to figure it out myself. And I realized that it was setting up the host only on my WAN instead of my VLA. Instead of my LAN, right? And that's fine, and that's how I troubleshoot that. Then I asked it. I said, let me see. I asked it right here. Something. I said, explain why I need step 3. Right. So step 3 was here. Step 2, step 3. Log into the web GUI. Now I didn't think I needed to have to do this because I could do it on command line, but it tells me gives you safe out of band door into pfSense, so you can finish the setup. And I'm actually, the next video, I'm gonna set up the fourth adapter, and I'm gonna have to. That's what I'm gonna do next. I'm gonna ask it, okay, so now how do I add up that fourth adapter? Because I do need, as of now, I took one of the adapters out, so I only have ability to either have my Metasploitable or my Ubuntu, because there's only, I can't set that fourth adapter. So in here in the GUI I can set a fourth adapter, okay? And I'm going to set it up, and I'm going to set it up for either my Metasploiter or my Ubuntu, so I can have both of them. And then that's the next step. So these are baby steps, okay? Baby steps to trying to get this configured to where I can start hacking it. Now, that took me maybe 2 hours of making the video, researching, but I troubleshot through it. I got it to work, and then I learned a tremendous amount about how this networking works, which I knew theoretically how it worked, but I never did it physically. Okay, so that's what's cool. When you do projects like this, you get to see physical how to get things set up, and that's the best way to learn, right? So now, if I had to set up something on the same network, I'm going to make sure that my host or my PC or whatever I'm using as my host network is can see. It has to match. It has to have the same IP address range as whatever I'm setting up, right? And it has to see it, or else you can't access it, right? Through your host PC, which is my personal computer. Okay, so I learned a tremendous amount. We got through it, and I've got this running. So now, I have them. I have my VirtualBox. I've got my firewall IP address, and I've got my PC host all in the same IP range, right? I'm not using the internet. That keeps me safe. That means I can put this on a video. It's just fine. Now, my next step in this process, we're way far from being done, right? This is like the first little thing that I'm doing. I still haven't added these, and I'm just setting up the configuration for now. Next step is I need to add another adapter, and then I need to start adding my Ubuntu and my Kali Linux and my Metasploitable onto the same network, right? We're going to do that. And then once they all can ping and communicate with each other and they're all rocking on the same network, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to configure, I think, this Ubuntu and the Metasploitable to set them up to be hacked, right? I got to get all these on different VLNs. That's the next step too. But for now, we're good. We're golden. We're on the right path. And so if we look at this, setup plan, we don't want to look at that. Assign IP addresses. So I am I'm on this next step, right? But I had to work through a lot of stuff to get this set up. Just to get these interfaces set up. That's what they're called, interfaces. Okay? So that took me 2 hours just to get through this one part. So this part was easy, but we had to go back and fix this, troubleshoot it. Now, then it took me 2 hours for this one, but I cut you guys some slack, and I just went over like the problems I have, which is great. That way you're going to run into those problems. You can go back and say, okay, so he said what? He went back. Oh, they have to be on the same. So there's different ways, like, you can go to there's different ways to change. Okay, so like, let's say if you look at we go to your command, right? You go to your command prompt, and you do find out that your IP config, right? you do find out that your adapter. So in my case, it's the Ethernet adapter 4. You do find out that this isn't matching, right? How do you change it? So that's another thing. So you're gonna say, well, it is, but how do I change it? You can Google it and you can look it up, but you go to your control panel. Okay, and first off, you might even have to enable it. So it's in your control panel. You're gonna go to your control panel, network and internet, and you can go to network sharing. It's fine, but oh no, it's not network sharing. It's control panel, network and internet. Let's go to this network sharing. Where did I find that? Oh, internet options. Oh, network and sharing. Okay. I don't know what this is. So we'll go here. Okay. So you got to click on network and sharing. And you got to find this page. And you're going to look for. So here's my network adapters. So you're going to try to find your network adapters. And you need to enable it. So if it says disable, it means it's enabled already. If it says enable, you click on it to enable it. Now, you want to find your where you can change your IP address, and so it might be I don't know. Let's see. So more adapter options. So more adapter options. It's somewhere in there, but you gotta look for it and find your IP address for this, and then you set that to the same IP address that you need that's on your LAN, right? Host. So you set that to this, what you set it as. That way your PC address is set to that range, this IP range in your subnet. And then so your PC is saying, okay, it's within this range in this little internet or little network on your LAN, and then you verify it, right? And then you already set this up to that, so now they're all in the same range and they can see each other. And you set your adapters in here. Remember, not that first one. That first one, now it depends on what version you have. Me, I had to do it like that because this pfSense version, I don't know how old it is, but it would not let me set that WAN to blank, so I had to just scoot them over. Okay, that's how you do it. So now we're rocking like Moroccans, and we're coming up to this next one. So this next video, we're going to work more on this one, and we're going to start setting up these VLANs to different IP addresses on our IP network. Okay. All right. So I mean, we learned a lot, dude. I mean, that's how you learn a lot, right? You don't. You have to have practical, know-how. And the more you watch my videos, if you actually follow along, you're gonna learn a lot of practical stuff, right? And you're gonna learn a lot about configuring how networks work, how all this has to be connected. That's great. And then we're gonna start using hacking tools and whatnot. So I'll see you on the next video. Enjoy.